Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Linda Pradita. I'm from 6th semester English Education at Majapahit-Islamic University. Today, I will explain about the novel that I read. The title is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This novel by Stephen Chbosky was he was born on January 25, 1970 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. He is a writer and producer, known for The Perks of Being a Wallflower 2012. In this year, the film adaptation of the novel was released, with actors like Emma Watson, Ezra Miller, and Logan Lerman in starring roles. Then we're talking about the characters. The first is Charlie. Charlie is the main character and protagonist of the novel. He directs the progression of the novel through the letters he writes to an unnamed friend. These letters describe Charlie's experiences in high school and at home. And then Sam is a beautiful girl with a blonde-haired, green eyes who wins Charlie's affection from the first day of their friendship. And then Patrick, at the first introduced as nothing from the subclass, becomes one of Charlie's best friends. He is the flamboyant and extravagant step-brother of Sam. Charlie's love interest in the novel. And then Aunt Helen was Charlie's favorite person during his early years. In the process of recovering from childhood experiences of sexual abuse, Helen struggled with alcohol, drugs, and abusive men in her adult life. And then Bill is the Charlie's teacher for advanced English. From the beginning of the novel, Bill mentors Charlie. He noticed Charlie's enthusiasm and dedication to writing and literature, and he seeks to foster the young man's talents. And the last, Mary Elizabeth, is a member of Patrick and Sam's group of friends, with Charlie joins at the beginning of the novel. She runs a fanzine dedicated to the Rocky Horror Picture Show and also act in the show itself. And then we are explained about the synopsis. The story opens with Charlie's first letter in ages 19 and 91 to a friend. Charlie did not explain who the friend was. All Charlie wanted was someone who could understand him and would listen to his life story. And he thought writing letters could help Charlie deal with the problem. He is a typical kid who is quiet, introvert, and awkward. Some of his friends found him strange, but actually he is a smart kid and likes to pay attention to everything more deeply. The first letters revolves around the death of Charlie's best friend, Michael Dobson, by suicide. Hearing the news, Charlie continued to cry. After the incident, Charlie had regular visits with a counselor. The letters that follow contain Charlie's daily life at home and at school. At home, he is the youngest of 3 children. Charlie has an older brother and sister. At school, he has just started his new year in high school and is so worried whether he will have friends or not. In the past, Charlie was very close to his mother's brother, whom he called Aunt Helen. Aunt Helen died in an accident just as she was about to go buy a present for Charlie. Because of that incident, she is always haunted by feeling of quiet and also longing for his aunt. Charlie is having mental problems, evidenced by the story that has meeting in counselor and psychiatrist. He must take certain drugs. At times, he also had constant panic attack or grief. Charlie's parents are quite concerned about the condition of their youngest child. From his letters, Charlie has a nice and warm family. At school, Charlie finally makes friends while watching a soccer game. They are Patrick and Sam, a pair, a half brother who are also Charlie's seniors at school. They were the ones who introduced Charlie to several other seniors, as well as at parties and activities in the style of high school teenagers. The ending of this story is one of his best friend who becomes the climax of Charlie's life struggle and makes it even more intricate and colorful. It is at the end of this story that we will understand why Charlie is special. There are so many things that have happened to him and make him have to struggle, even if only for the sake of being a teenager in general. Then we are talking about the setting. This book takes place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the early 1990. Each of Charlie's letters start by stating the date, so the reader will always know how to interpret the time. And then, yes, the moral value. One of the most important lessons in this book is that even during the darkest moments, human beings are capable of finding love. Charlie is immersed in emotional darkness. And then the last is my comment. I personally think this book should be on the required reading list of the high school curriculum. It includes many topics that I believe should be discussed more in school for well being of teenagers. For those who like stories about psychology, mental health, and others. So I recommended this book to people from 14 until 21 years age. So let's you read this novel, and it is so good novel that I have read. Okay, I think enough for my explanation, and thank you so much for your attention. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.